In the world of console gaming, the transition between last gen and current gen isn't always easy for consumers. Throw in a global pandemic and severe shortages and the problem becomes 10 times worse. As some get ready to make the move, others are being left behind, especially when it comes to games. Horizon Forbidden West is but one example.
The old ones perished 1,000 years ago. Their great cities turned to graves. In their place came new life.
Welcome everybody and thank you for joining me. Sony PlayStation over the years has been responsible for some amazing AAA games. In fact, at this point it is pretty much what they are known for. Titles like Last of Us, Ratchet & Clank and Uncharted has elevated them above the competition and turned them into global market leaders. But as competition starts to ramp up from competitors like Microsoft, who can afford to take a bit of a hit in order to gain market share, pressure is starting to ramp up for Sony to match them. So by this point I am sure that most people are aware of the situation of one of Sony PlayStation's massive exclusive games that is due to come out next year, Horizon Forbidden West, and all of the drama surrounding it when it comes to how upgrades will work for the game from last gen to this gen. For those who might be unaware, Sony decided that when it comes to upgrading your copy of the game from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5, that upgrade will come at a price. So what is that price? Well, that is a little bit tricky. If you buy a standard PlayStation 4 version of the game for $60, it will not include the PlayStation 5 version as well, and that means for those who cannot get their hands on a PlayStation 5 console right now due to whatever reason, will not be able to make the most of the improved graphics should they eventually decide to make the jump to this gen. This also means that when you do upgrade your console, you will have to buy the game again if you want to play with those improved graphics. Should you want both versions in anticipation for your inevitable upgrade, you will have to pay extra and buy the $80 version. Keep in mind that that is only for online copies. Don't even get me started on the prices for the physical copies. Now, since last week some changes to this pay model has been made, but before we even get into that, a much larger debate and feature has popped up, and that is Xbox and smart delivery. So as we get a little bit deeper into this whole thing with Sony, I want to address an article that was done by The Gamer that I thought was really good at addressing some of the main problems out of this whole thing. It is called Dear Xbox, I am sorry I made fun of smart delivery, and I think that headline should pretty much sum up the direction that we are about to go in. I'll admit it, I thought smart delivery was a made up marketing term by Microsoft invented to describe two things we already had: backwards forwards compatibility and cloud saves. Smart delivery seems to be a way for the new Xbox Series X and S to turn something as simple as playing the same game on two different Xboxes into a revolutionary new feature, and I was the first in line to mock it. Smart delivery looked like the bare minimum, especially considering how weird the rollout has been for this generation, amidst COVID related production complications. I still don't think what smart delivery does should be considered groundbreaking, but compared to the way Sony has been handling cross-generation releases, smart delivery might as well be rocket science. So I am sorry Xbox, smart delivery isn't a joke, and Sony, can we get a little smart delivery please? And I think that sums up a way a lot of people feel, at least those who are willing to look at things objectively. Some might take things like getting both versions of a game or even being able to transfer your save file seamlessly seamlessly between consoles for granted, but it is worth noting that not every platform does these type of things or offer these type of services. I remember downloading Red Dead Redemption on my Xbox One through Game Pass and playing it for a little bit, and by the time I got my Xbox Series X, the game already left Game Pass, and I bought it again on sale, and I was completely ready to start all over again in the snowy mountains.
Can't possibly go all the way back to the snow level again. What choice do I have now? Fucking bitch.
But lo and behold, all of my save files automatically transferred over, and I was able to pick up where I left off without losing any progress at all. But to get a little bit back on the topic here, to Sony's credit, they did decide to backtrack on all of this and offer a free upgrade for those who will buy the PlayStation 4 version of Forbidden West, but there are still those who are unhappy with a few things, especially when it comes to the approach to save files. The weird upgrade fees aren't the only thing Sony is screwing up. Transferring cloud saves has turned out to be a total nightmare as well for a number of games. When the next gen version of Marvel Avengers launched, some players were completely unable to transfer their save files between games. Similarly, downloading the next gen version of Destiny 2 at launch would automatically cause both the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 versions of the game to download. I still have multiple versions of the same game on my PlayStation 5, and don't get me started on games like Final Fantasy VII Remake, which requires you to download the PlayStation 4 version on the PlayStation 5 before you can upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version. We have dozens of guides on The Gamer about how to transfer games from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5. You know how many guides we have about transferring Xbox games? Zero. And that is exactly what I have said. It is a lot easier on Xbox, and features like smart delivery should not be taken for granted. Now, I would admit that offering both versions of a game or even working out the technology for a seamless data transfer does come at a price, and I am sure that Xbox loses money with smart delivery, but when a parent company like Microsoft is worth over $1 trillion, it becomes a lot easier to be able to take those type of hits. Sony doesn't necessarily have access to that type of cash, and if you consider their position and how dependent they are on PlayStation to be profitable, it does become a lot more difficult for them to take these type of losses. I could be wrong here, but PlayStation might be their only, or at least one of the only profitable departments for Sony. It is not always easy to compete, but again, this just shows us the importance of competition. And although Sony decided to backtrack on this whole thing and offer a free upgrade for Forbidden West from the PlayStation 4 to the PlayStation 5, they also made it clear that upgrades going forward will be locked behind a paywall, and I think that is really unfortunate. But on that note, this is where I'm going to end it. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you would like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing, and as always, please remember to stay safe, wash your hands, don't touch your face, and I hope to see you again soon.